Dude, that was awesome. You were all like, man, it's not so like, yeah. Okay. You prove yourself worthy, douchebag. Now come inside the war tent and I shall let you see. Would you like to see my wares, Mary Crap? Perhaps you would like to hear tips and rumors for $2?
I guess I'll talk.
Don't waste your money.
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, I should keep talking. I should say something.
Keep talking.
I noticed that the game is so distracting.
Yeah. Koopa Keep.
Well, here it is. The reason why humans and elves are locked in a never-ending war.
The story eventually gets completely ridiculous, like you would expect a South Park story to get.
I thought that was bacon, but it's just a stick.
I would fight for bacon.
Whoever controls the stick controls the universe.
I'm so lonely.
Now that you have seen the stick of truth, let's discuss your due.
The stick of truth. I like that.
That's the name of the game.
That's the name of this game. The
Yes.
stick of truth. That's hilarious.
Last game you last South Park, you said you played the N64 one, right?
Yeah.
I never played that one.
There was an N64 South Park game?
Yeah, I had a friend who had
It's really good.
who had his parents got him an N64 and he wanted the South Park game, right? And they were just like, "Oh, why don't we get you Mario 64?" And he's like, "No, I want the South Park game."
And
he said it was the greatest regret he's ever. he had that regret for the rest of his life.
I can't remember what console it was on.
The first South Park game was.
It wasn't on the N64. It was on the PlayStation.
Well, maybe.
I can imagine that Parappa the Rapper had similar kind of animation styles on PlayStation.
I think. I
And
can't remember
this
it,
game
so-
has a lot of elements of real time. You know how Final Fantasy nowadays doesn't have like random encounters?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But this game has elements of real time. But the thing is, you'll attack an enemy and then it'll bring 6 enemies out of their ass to fight with them. So in later stages, it actually gets pretty annoying when you're fighting what seems to be just a dire wolf and you find you're fighting a whole pack of them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's just misrepresented.
Yeah, this is the same problem a lot of people have with Child of Light with its battle system.
RPGs have been doing that for a long time now.
I swear there was some latency in this game too, because I swear some of my button presses wouldn't work.
I said block, not get nailed by. Maybe I wasn't clear. Try again.
Yeah, I think I straight up load a game just to go back
Right.
and do this segment again because it freezes. I forgot which button it was to block. So
There you go.
there we go.
It blends into your Mac, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It does. It seemed like it was a part of his Mac, so I was confused.
Fuck you.
Any game that allows
Children to swear. Yeah.
is the best thing I've ever seen.
For some reason.
I said block, not get nailed by.
We have to remember that these characters are in like grade 4 or 5.
Forever grade 4.
So you basically got Cartman being. Yeah, I think this is where it
I
freezes.
know, that's why I say it Cartman.
This is where it froze.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it just wouldn't let you do anything right here?
Yeah.
Looks like he's bent over,
The
ready
button
to
prompt wouldn't
take
appear,
a stick
so.
in his butt.
I think that's what it is. Button prompt wouldn't appear.
Yeah.
Oh man, buggy. Speaking of buggy games, Fable 2. I think I was cursed to play through the first third of that game. Like it must have been like 6, 7, 8 times maybe. I swear to God, every time I would get to a certain point, something would happen, and I would be forced to restart. And one time it was just this game-breaking bug where you're supposed to look out a window, and a bunch of people came in, and it was the same thing. There was no prompt. The people didn't come in this sort of like in-game, not quite cutscene, but scripted event, and it just locked there. it locked with me staring out of the window.
I think this is the only time the game flat out quits on me.
Yeah. Or
So-
there's no other.
There's no other game breaking
Like-
bugs, but there's a lot of little issues that prop up every now and then. Like I said, the latency issues. I swear to God, there was some latency in this game.
Don't let them through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was actively hindering my
Fuck you, Drow.
performance in the battles. It could have just been me being clumsy, But I swear it was latency because it was happening too consistently.
Huh. Yeah, it's always frustrating. One of my
Do it,
pet
douchebag.
peeves
Kick
in
these out
any
asses.
game is just any input lag.
Mhm.
It's sometimes I just don't even like playing on the
You wounded,
HDTVs
douchebag.
because I can
Well, you know,
definitely-
there's settings on those HDTVs you can actually turn off
Oh yeah.
to make it
I
work.
can feel it on Smash Bros. Really even on game mode settings on HDTVs.
No,
There's
no,
like
you
one
can-
or two frames.
For every HDTV, there's a setting you can go
Yeah.
in specifically. It's not game mode. You just go in and you turn off all the processing of the image on the screen
Right.
itself, and it'll actually reduce all the latency.
I think newer TVs are definitely better for it than that, but older TVs I remember were very.
Oblivion, I remember I discovered I had latency only during lockpicking puzzles.
Oh yeah.
So I was going through the whole
Yeah.
game up to that point.
Anything that requires really quick timing. like
Yeah,
that.
fighting all the enemies and stuff, and eventually I got to the lockpicking puzzles in Oblivion, and I was like, why can't I do this? And it was like, oh shit, I have latency.
Yeah.
Is that the pose he was in the box, or did you make?
Yeah. No, that was in the box.
Okay.
What, do you think you can move action figures?
You never know.
You're crazy.
Yeah. So I am crazy. Just.
Is there any
Great job,
ammo
douchebag.
system for this? Like, where is that?
No. Basically, your power points
I feel like-
regenerate after every battle.
I feel like that would have balanced it.
Is he shooting him in the face with fireworks?
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
and make it set on fire.
Stop losing.
But I don't want to make him feel bad.
But I don't want to make him feel bad. Oh, Lord. You can see how boring the segments like these become. Because there's not even any music over these sections. Nothing to, like, suck you back into the universe of the game. It's just all, oh, we have a menu system.
Yeah. Here's a movie.
Here is a menu.
That is, yeah.
That is all. Oh.
Huh.
Actually, this first hour of the game, I remember, maybe I was playing it at a bad time, but I remember actually being a bit bored with this first hour of the game until the next, like, I restarted it and played it for full 5 hour stretch. So I don't know if it was this first hour just being the tutorial segment, which everyone dreads about RPGs, or maybe I was just tired
You
at
got
the
this,
time.
douchebag?
Eat shit.
So are there any positive gameplay elements that you would give this? Because we've been through mostly
waiting for,
negative
douchebag?
things
That's
when it comes to
what I'm
gameplay,
saying.
but positive things when it comes to, like,
I like the
visuals
battle
and the
system.
cutscenes or whatever.
I like the battle system, the active battle system.
We've
That,
been through positives. Oh no, not
it's-
for gameplay.
Yeah,
Alright,
not for
sorry. I'm still a bit tired from work.
You can't just hit him like that.
Things aren't processing.
but the active time battle system is actually pretty good. There are a few side quests here and there that actually end up being very positive. You can actually find summons once you complete certain side quests. You can actually summon Jesus in battle, but for some stupid reason they handicap it by saying, "Oh, I can't be summoned during boss battles."
Die, asshole.
When the only time they would actually be useful and not
That guy's ready
overkill.
for your arrows now. You gotta try something else.
So that
Yeah, maybe that's the point.
infuriated me. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Oh."
weird.
And there was like, just like other RPGs. What other RPGs let you do that? What other RPGs restrict you from summons during
Great job,
boss
douchebag.
battles? See, exactly my point.
No, I can only think of, like, scripted events where you're supposed to lose or it's a tutorial and
Yeah.
they don't let you use, like...
So I'm mystified
Totally,
why they
yeah.
chose that there and justified by saying just like another RPGs. No, what other RPGs? He's attacking a cat, so you attack him. Defend Pixel or Sadie.
Let's do this, douchebag.
Sadie.
Yeah,
Let's
did
do
you
this,
play
douchebag.
Paper Mario 1 or 2?
Hey, that guy has
No.
a shield.
Yeah, you'd like them. If you like this battle
Shields are
system,
super
you'd
weak.
like,
Just hit them with your simplest
you'd
hit
like
over
it.
and over to wear them down quickly.
The other weird thing about this game is that your HP goes up exponentially, but it hardly matters. You can pretty much just go through the game upgrading by like 1 health point at a time,
Right.
because the damage each enemy does scales, so
Just-
you're just doing the same, technically the same amount of damage.
Right. It's just numbers
attacking
to look
shield.
at,
That's
basically, from
bushy.
that point.
Yeah.
Use your normal attack
Just
and you can
strange
hit him again.
scaling. Yeah, that's always bugged me when,
It's
you know,
bushly.
games that have, like,
I have 10,000
ridiculous amounts
HP.
of damage.
Nope.
And this enemy does 9,999 points of damage.
like the later Final Fantasies are so bad for that. That's
Oh.
Jeez.
Whoa.
yeah, you're doing like 10,000 plus damage, and the bosses have like 1,000,000 plus health. Like, you just subtract a few zeros. Like, it just seems
Tedious.
yeah, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. When there's numbers that big, it's Dragon Ball Z syndrome. You know,
What does that mean?
It's over 9,000.
Dragon Ball Z is like, oh, he's, you know, it's when you have some sort of, you know, huge, large, like very, very large scale threat, or some sort of like, you know, very large scale power level, or, you know, you're facing an enemy who's the greatest fighter in the universe, right? And then you beat it. You know, it's like, well, where do you go from there, right? You just have to make up bullshit, or like, there's literally no difference than, you know, if you're taking off 1 damage from a boss that has 10 health, or if you're taking off 10,000 damage from a boss that has 1,000,000 health. Like, it's the same goddamn difference. All it is just the number's bigger. And the thing is, when things are that big, it's hard to wrap your head around it, and it loses its impact and meaning. When everything is super epic scale, and, you know, when everything is super crazy like that, then kind of, it's kind of like The Incredibles. It's like when everything's special,
super.
nobody's, yeah. Exactly.
I love it. I love this scene. It's just like the stick's gone.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a big problem sequels have as well. Like, it's a problem Halo 4 had. You know, you save the universe, or the galaxy.
You
or
already
whatever.
saved the universe.
Yeah.
And now what other threat is going to compare to the Flood? Oh, some guy who has a really big ship.
Yeah. Well, I kind of saw where they were trying to go with Halo 4, where they took a step back from scale and tried to make it more personal, but the problem is they failed at that.
Yeah, because Jen Taylor, people say that she gave a good performance. When she does that, I will not allow you to leave this planet, she sounds like someone screaming into a mic and not actually acting. It's actually kind of embarrassing, her performance in that game.
In some sections.
She's usually pretty good.
It's Jen Taylor.
And she's Cortana.
Also Princess Peach.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not. I can't. It's like when you pointed out that friggin' Parthenax was Mario's voice.
Yeah.
I can't reconcile.
Parthenax from Skyrim is voiced by Charles Martinet, or whatever his name is.
It's
the voice of Mario.
Mario.
Also, what was another cool one?
Voice of Pikachu.
Femshep.
Jennifer Hale.
Jennifer Hale voices Samus in one of the games.
Well, that makes
I
sense.
can't remember which one.
That makes sense to me.
Still, Samus doesn't say much, so it wasn't the other M, because that game doesn't exist.
Jennifer Hale, the sexiest voice in video games.
Oh, that brings me to the sort of the same point. I don't know where they're going to take Mass Effect 4, and I'm worried.
Oh no.
I'm one of the few people who didn't mind the Mass Effect. I say few.
The Mass Effect trilogy will go down as my favorite moment in video game history.
I didn't mind the ending, but it was definitely underwhelming. But that's old news. I just want to know.
Have you played the director's cut?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How?
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
Still,
So.
it solved a lot of my issues, but I could see where a lot of people were really complaining. It didn't feel like anything.
It boiled everything down
yeah.
to 3 choices. So.
Yeah, it all.
Or
came down
4, technically.
Yeah, I love how they gave that middle finger to people. You shoot the Star Child, and they're just like, oh, well, you don't like our endings? Well, here's the worst ending possible. That's it. No,
but,
if they made... Okay, just imagine this for a second, and tell me that this wouldn't be a game that you really want to play, okay? So, it's Batman Arkham City, right? But you're Garrus on Omega. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, that'd
Come
just be a great game.
I would much
That was
prefer
one of the
that.
intriguing things. That's why everyone loves Garrus, because he does all these badass things off screen.
He's Dirty Harry in space.
Yes.
He's Batman in space, kind of. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I think Femshep became his girlfriend. Like I just couldn't see it any other way. It was like, I think she was with Caden in the first game, and then it just evolved into, I love fucking Garrus.
I always killed Caden.
Because Caden doesn't join the squad because he's a big fucking pussy in the
Because
last
he's
game.
the same voice actor as what's-his-face from KOTOR, and I didn't like what's-his-face from KOTOR. Was it?
I don't know KOTOR.
Okay. Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, I know it, but I
Oh
don't.
god, his
played it.
name is at the tip of my tongue. I want to say Karth, but it was Karth. Pretty sure it was Karth. It probably wasn't Karth, but I'm going to say Karth. He played this character called we'll just call him Karth
Okay.
in Knights of the Old Republic. Same character.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only character I didn't like in KOTOR. He was just kind of,
Was it a
Taking
contract? Why didn't he appear more in Mass Effect 3? Because I had a lot invested in their relationship from the first game. It just fell to the wayside because Garrus. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think they had a
Be
lot.
talking about the game.
Oh yeah.
On the
Yeah, but
fucking
keep-
screen.
Well, we need to talk about something that.
That the viewers will be
Sorry.
interested.
Yeah. South Park.
An asshole.
We're sorry.
I forgot.
Okay.
We should just like superimpose like Mass Effect gameplay over most of our conversation.
One of my things is I'm waiting for another year or so to play Mass Effect all the way through with all the DLC because I have all the DLC finally downloaded.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And I'm gonna play through every single minute of it.
What's going on here?
I think I just paused.
Did you go out to like lunch?
I think I just paused it for a couple of seconds while I went to the bathroom.
Oh.
So
Anyways, Mass
continue.
Effect.
Yes.
While we're
what were
doing
you saying?
nothing.
Caden Lenko.
Oh,
a lot of
I
people
think
hate
there was a lot of unresolved story threads, if you want to call them unresolved. I think they resolved them, but sloppily. The Rachni, the Caden / Ashley thing, the everything really, the whole ending.
The whole,
I think
game
they-
was slop.
I have a
Very
feeling they
sloppy.
wanted to, and I know it sounds like some sort of big corporation hate, and everyone hates EA, but I'm just gonna blame EA.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that they had something to do.
There were certain aspects
with-
of that
with-
game where, in
with
retrospect,
getting,
everything
with
seems so rushed.
getting Mass Effect out as quickly as possible, or Mass Effect 3 rather.
I did like the multiplayer element. And if it weren't for a bug that froze my Xbox 360 every time I tried to load the multiplayer,
Oh, wow, that's a bug.
yeah, that's a huge bug, and they haven't rectified that, so I'll never be able to play Mass Effect 3 multiplayer ever again. But when I was able to play it, it was amazing.
It was fun.
It was a
I
nice
found-
cooperative little element. But Mass
It's like deserted now.
Mhm. Mass Effect 4, when it comes out, I will definitely be buying because Mass Effect really, I think,
This is the king's
is the
room. I don't
is the
think
best
we're
story
supposed
I've
to
ever
be
played in a
here.
video game.
What exactly are you looking
Best
for?
story I've ever played in a video game. Like, because it was my journey, and yet it was also this journey of a person who saves the universe in a
Right.
meaningful way.
The game's back on, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Oh, here's something weird. This closets of collectibles that you can't interact with in any way. They're just there, just
Oh, really?
as a reference to the show. And if you haven't watched any South Park lately, well, you're going to
Doesn't
be
make
lost.
any sense. Oh,
Yeah.
nice though.
Mr. T. You actually go to Canada in this game, and it's a
Yeah,
big
I saw Terrence and Phillip on one of the loading screens. I figured you.
Yeah, it's a
Canada would be
16-bit Canada.
Oh, nice.
Like, no, I think it's even worse than that. It's an 8-bit Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it's like 8-bit music. So you got the "Oh Canada" theme, dun 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 dun,
Yeah, man.
in an 8-bit glory. It's just like, welcome to Canada,
There's no Canada like French Canada.
home with the best sodomy you'll ever hear, or something like that.
Is this really a thing?
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
really a thing.
Awesome.
There's this section of the game though that's called the forest or the forbidden forest, and you get lost in it because the pathways take you to random locations.
Yeah.
And that actually is an infuriating part of the game for me. It's like, why couldn't you just design like an actual, like, thoughtfully put together forest to travel through?
Sorry, Tom.
It's alright.
Because it just seems like they're going after just, these RPG tropes. Yeah, the maze forest and all that stuff. The active the
This is
whole
where
the
the
whole
magic is.
active command combat. The
Doing hand magic,
yeah.
blood magic.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is they don't actually stray away from the formula.
It's like I said, they have the barest bones of a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like there could be a good game in
I
here.
like how the clock hand was moving back and forth in the background of the scene
I
just
didn't
now.
notice.
It's
Good detail.
Little details that
Good
you notice when you're
details.
tired, eh? It's like,
Well, I was just saying, good job, South Park gamer design.
well, I'm not saying
See,
it
look
would
at look at that.
You're just so entertained.
back and forth, back and forth.